What's going on, family? It's so good to be here. It is a very, very, very cold day in Huntsville, Alabama. This is probably one of the coldest we've probably ever had here. The Nest doorbell on the front of the house is saying 7 degrees, 7, and the feels like is in the negative. So yeah, definitely a cold day, but we're excited for the coaching corner. All right, anybody excited for the coaching corner? I see a couple of you guys hanging out with us on live already today. I'm excited about that, and I know more will show up. And whoever you are out there, listen, we're excited about this. We're gonna bring on Sam from Outdoors in Maryland is our guest for today, and he's already connected and ready to go. So normally I do some engagement with the audience. We're not doing any of that today. We're not doing any of that today because we already have our guest with us. So definitely excited for that. And so without any further ado, let's hear from our guest. Hey.
What's going on? What's
happening? Man, it is so good to have you here. I'm just gonna, cool, we got that turned up. Perfect. What's up, man?
Nothing. I'm enjoying the cold day just like you.
Oh, yeah, whereabout are you? Oh, you're from Maryland, of course. You're
yeah, we're
Outdoors in Maryland. Clearly you're in Maryland. Oh, cool.
We're about 23. The wind chill's making a little it's good hunting weather right now as an outdoor channel.
You know what's so I'm literally, so when I checked the Nest doorbell earlier, it said 7, but right now it actually says 23. So we're almost exactly the same, which does not make sense because I am a good bit south of you. So I would expect that we would be a little warmer, but that's not the case. Oh man. All right, cool. Well, man, listen, I'm glad to have you on. Glad to be able to chat it up with you today. I got a chance to check out some of your channel and some of the stuff that you have on there, and especially that latest interview that you told me to check out. I think it was not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before. Yeah,
with Captain Boomy. She's a female. I met her at a boat show.
Nice.
It's really weird because they had a big tent there. So it's a really, I wouldn't say, I hate to say it, a cult. But it is a really big deal. Everybody's got their thing.
Yeah.
And so right now, so I was with a company. They're called Fish Hunt Maryland, and what they do is that they promote Maryland for a destination to come visit. Not only for that, for fishing, even just to come out and to enjoy. So they kind of bring you in for that. So I'm at that tent. The very next tent, all they do was for YouTubers, and it was for nothing for sailing and boating. I mean, some really big YouTubers. I mean,
wow.
Last one, they actually, I mean, there was lines waiting around to meet the YouTubers
that were in that tent. That is so dope. That is a thing. Like even at these in-person events, you'll now bring these influencers so that people can kind of meet. That's really cool. I'd love that.
And so I met her, and she is very she's very goofy in a nice way. She's funny. She's got a great personality. So even though it may be not perfect for maybe what my channel is, like I actually have another live stream coming up this Saturday, and it's with a young country singer. So even though it's a tackle shop and all that stuff, I'm kind of, he does fish with his dad and everything. So
okay, cool. Man, that's so awesome, man.
And you're gonna notice that's why I did a podcast, because I talk a lot. Okay.
Oh, that's more than fine. You're not gonna find any argument here. We need you to talk. So I'm getting you centered because I want to move to the other screen here. Let's apply that to cancel that. I do want to apply this to the next scene, but we will see how that looks. Let's see how that looks just now. Let's move that over and go to the next scene. Yeah, so cool. I wanted to move you over a little bit so you're not being blocked by the screen. All right, so here we're looking at, as you were talking about, I was like, let me just go ahead and pull up. Let's get
first one.
Yeah. I'm just getting the smart mouse going because want to be able to highlight what we got going on here. All right, so this is the one here. I don't want to pull it up just yet, but for those that are in the comments section, I see several of you hanging out with us already today. It's just like, so when somebody said, "What? You're not going to engage with us?" Well, no, I that's on me. I got going a little late. I was on a conference call with my siblings and my dad, and I looked at the time like, oh, it's 11:50, I gotta run. So I ran back upstairs to kind of get some things situated before the show. But this is the page. This is the show that he's talking about with Captain Boomies. And yes. I like the way you integrated some pre-recorded clips into the live stream to kind of give that additional level of engagements. And I believe you were talking over those clips. Is that correct?
No, I wasn't going to. We did that when we brought up a couple of pictures of some of the boats she's been on. When I first started it, I just pulled a couple clips from her YouTube channel, some older ones, and and edited it real quick, threw it up so I can let somebody know what she does. Now this young lady's been around the world, captain like big 150-foot gigantic yachts.
Wow.
So she's been around. She says she's been around some pretty filthy rich people. But she, I wanted to talk to her about that. And here in Maryland, we have a boat here that's called the Pride of Baltimore. And
okay, yeah, very familiar with it.
It's like a 1900, or I mean, an 1800 style sailboat. One of them, because, in Maryland, well, if nobody knows, Maryland is where the national anthem was born.
Yes.
That's where it was born. And she was one of the battleships. She was actually very fast for that time, sail battleship. And she got to sail that from Annapolis, Maryland to the Bahamas.
Oh, so she got that boat.
Yeah, that boat. So her whole crew, she got to sail that across the. And that's the only thing I was kind of disappointed, even though I brought it at the beginning. I didn't talk to her as much as I wanted to because that. Even though I wrote notes, once I start talking, I kind of want it to feel like we're just talking.
Yeah, you want it to be a conversation. So you don't want it to be so interviewee. That and I like the flow you had there as well. So I don't have any critiques there. I want to say this real quick. My family, I met and married my wife in Maryland. I used to work at T. Rowe Price right downtown Baltimore, right by the Inner Harbor. So 100 East Pratt Street. I used to take the train down to Charles Station and get off there, walk down. I remember when they first opened up the first Chipotle downtown, right next to ESPN Zone down there. So all of that is where you're talking about, what you're referring to. That's definitely a home for me. Fed Hill, Kate. So Fed Hill. What's the other person? Not Dundalk. What's the other area right there?
I'm from Dundalk, man. That's where I grew up. I grew up downtown, right not too far from the Inner Harbor, from the Inner Harbor down there. So I grew up young, and we moved basically. Maybe I wouldn't call it the suburbs, but we were right on the outskirts of the city most of my childhood. But later in life, me and my wife we've moved to the Eastern Shore of Maryland. So we're over that Big Bay Bridge. So now we're down. It's a lot quieter. It's not so much.
And for what you do, I mean, I think that's definitely a great area to be in. So listen, let's take a look at talk to me real quick. I'm gonna pull the channel back up in just a second, but talk to me real quick about your channel. You've got first of all, let me do this real quick. You have 4.68K subscribers with 324 videos. That, my friend, deserves all of the sound effects. You are doing something right. You are doing something right. So I just want to celebrate that real quick. You are doing something right. So a YouTube employee told me that the statistic of how many YouTube channels make it over 1,000 subscribers is very, like, you're in a 10% category right now. So I just want to celebrate that. You are clearly onto something. So talk to us a little bit about your channel value proposition and your target audience. Who are you looking to speak to with this channel, and what do you want them to get What would a person who is in that target audience come to your channel for, because they know I'm going to get this every single time? Like, so those are the two pieces I want to start off with.
Well, I'm going on this March will probably be 4 years. Did you
Okay.
say you were born in 1987? Did I hear you say that?
No, 1979. I don't know if I said, I may have said a different time.
I don't know what it was, because I was like, that's funny, because that's when I've been with my wife. I've been with her since 1987. I'm an old fella. So
okay, cool.
I started about 4 years ago, and I watched a big YouTube channel. He's probably got a couple million subscribers now, and then I watched a bunch of local guys.
Okay.
A bunch of local guys that were just out videoing, out recording, them fishing and stuff like that. And I was like, I could do that. But what I wanted to do, and I've really been sitting down, because even though I got to 4,000, they always said that YouTube would start snowballing for us. You would see it would start snowballing, where I would normally get maybe 1 or 2 subs. And a lot of people need to understand, doesn't matter. You want views. You can have 1 million subscribers, but if you're only getting a couple hundred views, that don't mean anything. The views are what you're looking for. So
that's it. So well said. Continue.
And this last year, so at the end of last year, me and my wife, first, let me explain that. Me and my wife, we do a lot of we're here in Maryland. So one of the things that are very popular are the crab cakes and blue crabs.
Yes,
we
sir.
Get to go out and recreate crab. I get to go out and now when it comes to crabs, we use JO seasoning.
Okay, my bad. Everybody has their way. Listen.
Well, you would be very surprised to realize that probably 80 to 90% of people, if you come out here to get steamed crabs, they are steamed in JO number 2.
Wow.
Obey is, that's a Maryland thing. But when I started, I thought that I would show people, how I'm fishing, take them out with me and my wife, going out crabbing, we can recreational crab. And then we'll come back. We usually steam them, show you how we steam them, how we cook them. She picks them. And this year was a little low, but we have about 30, 40 pounds of crab meat come the end of the season. So we get to cook all through the season. I do a little bit of hunting. I don't know. People, it's kind of funny when it comes to that. I'll tell you a quick story. Why hunting? I grew up in the city. I'm getting ready to turn 57 in about 2 weeks, and the dark woods still creeps me out. Going into dark woods still creeps me out. But my first time ever, my buddy, I wasn't ever into it. I loved fishing, but my buddy, my really good friend, they every year come hunting season, he wouldn't fish as much because he was hunting. He kept asking. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm not really into it. And then finally, he talked me into going. We went into the mountains of Maryland, and very first question to Wayne was, man, we're not going to see like bear. I mean, have you ever seen a bear? Any bears out there? He's like, I've been going out there for years. I've never seen a bear.
Oh, famous last words.
So I'm sitting on the ground, so it's pitch dark. You can't see in front of your face. It's that dark. And
wow.
So I had my first shot at a deer, and I missed because I was a rookie, but I was good. So about 5 seconds, 20 minutes later, I hear walking behind, and I'm on the ground. Remember, I'm on the ground. I turn around, and it's probably a 300-pound black bear with her cubs walking. They're walking away. They're walking about maybe 30 yards away from me, but walking at the woods.
Oh my gosh!
They're walking away. And what's funny, the guy Wayne is kind of. So I'm kind of. I don't know how to explain it, but I was in one spot. He was behind them. So not only was he behind me, he was behind the bears, and he's laughing the whole time. He's like laughing. It's so funny.
Oh my gosh! Because of the conversation you guys had prior. That is crazy.
Yeah, the bear literally walks right up onto my other friend, walks up on him, and he spooks the bears. Well, when he spooks the bears, them bears came full-fledged running straight at me. Directly into my direction. And it must have stopped maybe 15 yards in front of me and stood up on a rock, the mother bear with her cubs. And that was an old crap moment, but I calmed down. It was pretty weird how I stayed pretty calm. They ran down the hill, and I still go in the woods for some reason. I don't know.
That is an entire video. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I guess
That is-
bringing people out to see that don't fish, maybe don't hunt. One of the most spectacular things that I would never have realized unless I went up, even though you go sit in your stand and you go in the middle of the morning and it's dead silent. It's so silent, as they say, it could, it's deafening.
Yeah.
So, but as the sun comes up, you just hear the woods come alive, and it's how things start moving, animals start moving, birds start chirping. You see squirrels on the ground, or maybe a raccoon or a fox, or so it's one of them things that I always think that maybe somebody could maybe experience once. You really not have to go out and hunt, but just to be out in the woods in that time in the morning can be a really, really, really great experience for somebody.
So I think that is, I think there's a lot of value in what you just shared, and I think you share it with passion. I think, I mean, even if I look at my comments right now, I'm seeing, where people are already engaging with what you're sharing. You share it with passion. Your title of your channel is well done, in that it's outdoors in Maryland. So, so a couple of things, because I want to make sure that this is a value. So right off the bat, we've got your about section here. Welcome to our channel. On here, the wife and I will be doing cooking recipes, crabbing, fishing, hunting, and just being outdoors. Please subscribe to stay updated on new videos. Now, I would flip this. I would start by saying, something like what you just said a second ago. The great outdoors is calling. The great outdoors has a message to share. Have you ever heard it? Great. I'm a big proponent of asking a question so that the audience can self-identify. I'm a huge proponent of that, because questions lead to a deeper realization. So instead of just drawing that straight line to it, saying something like, just like what you said a second ago, just kind of describing that scene. There is a moment before sunset outdoors where the silence, right before sunrise, where the silence is deafening. And then as the sun begins to go up, you hear the forest come alive. Have you ever heard that? ? If you haven't, you want to stick around for this channel. We're going to give you a taste of the, well, this is all recorded. So you have this whole live stream, but you want to, if you've never heard that before, on this channel, we seek to give you a small taste in hopes that you'll be curious enough to go and experience it for yourself. And if you ever do go and experience it for yourself, we've got all the tools, kits, supplies, tips, tricks, best practices, so that when you do go, you're safe, all that stuff. You see how you're creating this question and this curiosity for the person who either is gung-ho about it, because somebody's going to answer and be like, oh yes, oh, that's such a dope moment. I've known that moment. I've heard that before. And there's like, okay, subscribe, because I want to make sure that I don't miss that moment. I want to live vicariously through Sam and his wife as they continue to showcase that moment. But then there's somebody who's like, oh no, I am not even a little bit interested. And they scroll on. And let me be clear, you want them to scroll on, because the worst thing that you can have happen, you kind of alluded to it earlier, worst thing you can have happen is for somebody to subscribe, not fully understanding what your channel is about. And then when the videos start rolling, they don't watch them. Worst thing you can, I'm dealing with a guy right now. He's got a couple 100,000 subscribers, but his videos get 200-300 views, and he can't figure it out. And I know exactly what the problem is. He had one viral moment, and I think that viral moment was in a wrong direction, and he can't rein it back in. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think as much as I think shorts will bring you subscribers, I have a channel that I watch, and he's hit going on 11,000 subs, but he's got like 6 million views on his channel, but they're all from shorts. I mean, he's got a lot of videos out. I mean, he puts out 2 or 3 shorts, and that's where he's getting his views. Now, shorts, you don't make any money on shorts.
They have their own little thing with shorts. Yeah.
the million. I think he got 1 million views on the one. He made it like $50 on it. But and this is all ain't about money. I'm just kind of saying. But totally the shorts gives you the subscribers. But when it comes to your long form, if you're going to be a short channel where you're just putting shorts up, you're good. If you want long form, the shorts maybe help some people come to your channel, but you want them to watch. You want them to watch your long form. You want them to be engaged and stuff. So that's where I'm kind of talking about last year. What was, I started to see that snowball effect where before I'm getting 1 or 2 subscribers, well, I started getting 10, 15, 20 subscribers a day. And I started seeing the views going up. Well, last October, not the one just passed, the one before in 2022, I have an old knee injury from driving around down Fells Point. Motorcycles.
Fells Point. Yes, I remember Fells Point.
And, and I had an accident back in the 90s, and I had an ACL replacement in 2000. So the last couple of years, I've been dealing, I must have injured it again. So that was really in October was the last time I was able to go out on the boat, and I really struggled, and then went from, it seems like I'm kind of starting over again. The subscriber counts are going down per day. The views are going down. I'm very, getting a little frustrating. So, so analyzing what you were talking about, how do I want to bring people in? And I'm looking at a couple different channels. And everything is so saturated. I guess I don't care what you do. So I started the podcast. It took me a couple months to get all the, Rodecaster, the Rodecaster Duo that I bought. And I like StreamYard because I think it's easy. Right. It's very easy.
It is. And it is.
But when it comes to playing music, like you got music playing in the background. And this weekend, I have a gentleman that I'm going to have sing a little bit, not a full concert, but just with his acoustic guitar, and he's going to sing a little bit. And I'm just scared that, through StreamYard, it's going to stink. It's not going to be good. So that's one of them things I was a little worried about. So that's why I was talking to you before about maybe going to OBS and trying that, because of maybe
we can get StreamYard to sound good. We can definitely do that. Let's do that. I want to come back to your YouTube channel in just a second. But
yeah, let's
definitely do.
Today's my day off. So usually by the time you come on at 7:00 in the morning, I've already got about, I start work about 2:15 in the morning. So,
oh wow,
I've been working for like 5 hours by the time you
That's crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. It is so cool to see how the community has kind of rallied around that whole morning motivation thing. I absolutely love it. Let me do this real quick. I want to shout out Nea. Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with us today. Na, thank you. Always appreciate when we have the community come through. Kerwin Bornell says it's not possible for Kirk to not engage with the comments, and you're absolutely right. You know me. I've got to engage. Wait a minute. I didn't know Simply Ball Dropping Podcast was from Maryland, Randallstown. Whoa, Randallstown. My sister still lives in Randallstown. Like, I used to really live in Reisterstown. That is amazing. My good friend Geraldine, aka Living Water Quilter, is on the live. Good afternoon to you as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh yeah, he says yes sir, was born and raised in Maryland. Look at that. We got a whole crew coming together today. Absolutely love that. The Wanderer is here. He said the 4 a.m. alarm got me. Oh my word, I cannot believe you're here, and I'm so humbled and honored that you would come through. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, our moderator is here, Mr. David Hunt. Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with us today. Listen, we're going to get right into let's take a look at this StreamYard thing. I'm going to go into a test room here in StreamYard, and we're going to, let's go back here. Boom, we got that. So in this test room, I should have done it before we went in, but anyway, you come into where it says settings. You see that on my screen now. Let me make I usually have this a little bit bigger for people to be able to see it. All right, so we got that at 200 now. So it should be a little bit easier to see. But anyway, the settings here at the bottom, if we click on that, so one of the things that I would say, Sam, is for your guest that you're going to have on the show, if you decide to use StreamYard, I would definitely encourage them, like highly, like almost require that they wear headphones, that the way that they're hearing you and the stream is through headphones. As long as you do that, then what you can do is as the guest comes in. So this is your guest will be here in this section, right? And you want to click on the 3 dots on your guest and go to audio settings. So now I'm trying to think of how I can demonstrate this. One sec. I'm gonna bring my laptop in, and then we can showcase what that looks like.
Yeah, I was trying to have a webcam. See, so right now I'm just using my GoPro as the webcam. And,
okay.
And so I have another webcam, and I wanted to have a different view. And when I do that, and I bring it in a different browser. I bring it in through a different browser, and the mics, I'm trying to figure out how to do that without getting all the feedback and all the stuff. So I'm still working on that.
Yeah. So one of the things that StreamYard does give you is the ability to add one camera. So if you go here to present, right, and you click on that, you have the ability to add an extra camera here, just one. So you do have the ability to add one extra camera. So if you just have 2, you might be able to add it this way, and this one doesn't add a mic, so it eliminates that audio issue. But I'll walk you through the other piece in just a second. So now we have a guest in here, right? So we have a guest in here. So this would be, say this is your guest for your upcoming show, and this is he or she's gonna play the acoustic guitar, sing a little bit. You're gonna want them in musician mode, which there is none for StreamYard, but you can simulate musician mode by going here to the 3 dots, going to mic settings, right? So here we got mic settings. We can go to mic settings, and you see here echo cancellation is off, reduce mic background noise is off. Those are required to be off if your guest is going to be doing music. So if we hover our mouse over this, you'll see, do not turn this off unless your guest has a high quality microphone and is wearing headphones. The high quality microphone is not the issue. The headphones is the issue. This setting enables audio processing features like echo cancellation, noise suppression, and auto gain control. Podcasters and musicians often turn this off. Once you turn this off, you're gonna you go from like a 16-bit audio to like a 128. So it's a massive jump, but it doesn't have any echo cancellation. So if they are listening to you through their speakers, then they will have that loop. And so that's a major thing there. And then of course, reduce background noise, improve audio clarity by minimizing background noise. The thing that is not said here is that the acoustic guitar will be classified as background noise. And so it'll have that choppy thing to it. So you just want to make sure both of these are unchecked. And then the other thing that I usually do, and I do this mid-show, I will come in here, I will, if I can't hear them very well, I will uncheck this and I'll turn them up. You know, just kind of, because this literally allows you to turn them up without them actually doing anything. So you do have some, they give you some.
He's actually, I'm going to have the Rode Pod mic, so I'm going to have an extra. He's actually going to be with me.
Oh, he's going to be physically in the room.
He's going to be in the room. So I'm in that.
Yeah. So perfect. So then in that case, you just need to go to settings and go to audio for your own setup and make sure that the same things are turned off. So you definitely want stereo audio, and you can't even turn on stereo audio unless echo cancellation is off. So that will help for that part of it. Definitely.
All right.
And then the last thing you were referring to is adding another camera. Here's what you do. So you noticed I have another screen here. This is an incognito screen, meaning it is a Google Chrome session, but I just open it in incognito. So we'll do that together. So I'm gonna go here, go to the invite, copy the link. Then I open up, I right click on Google Chrome, and you can see here, incognito window, new incognito window. That gives you a browser session that's not logged into anything. So paste that link in there. If I can paste that link into there, and it doesn't know that I'm logged in. So it's gonna bring me into StreamYard as a guest. So I'm gonna say allow cam and mic access, and that's gonna allow that. I've got my background camera here. I'm going to, so this is the part that's really critical for what you just said. So I'm going to go to settings, audio, and you need to change these to some. So for the speaker, I would pick like something that you can turn all the way down or something like that. Something that, because we don't actually want to hear anything from this particular thing. So there's two ways of doing that. Select something in here that's a speaker that you know you can turn all the way down, or I can leave it the way that it is and simply mute. And then here, right at the top of this screen, right click the tab and select mute site. Right there, mute site. Now I'm not gonna get any audio. So I enter this, I do have to do, I always type in second camera so that I know what it is. Boom, this is the second camera. Now I'm gonna go back to my main StreamYard setup, and you can see the second camera is here. That's what I called it. And now it doesn't have any audio. So if I add it to the screen, I don't hear anything from it. You know, I can switch between the two without any issue.
That's gonna be what I'm gonna be working on, practicing for future stuff, because I don't mind having two different cameras, because if I want to use, it would be nice to have a camera on me or for the full set, you know, for us together, and then have another camera maybe targeted just on my guest. That way I can, when I'm editing later on, if I'm going to do something for YouTube, I can edit where I can bring a nice close up to him. You know what I mean? To have him singled out.
That's good. Yeah, I love the idea of it, and I think I think it'll work out really well, especially if you do the local record feature, because the local record feature allows you to, you know, it's going to give you a good high quality recording, and it'll upload after the fact. So definitely, you know, look into those pieces of the puzzle as well. That's going to be really cool. Let's go here.
That's why I watch your channel, man. That's why I'm here. You know, when I wanted to do live streams, and I wanted to get, you know, to invest, you know, I didn't invest an extremely amount of money, but if you're going to do a podcast, or you're going to do, it's got a lot of audio, you should probably have some half decent equipment, because of your, let me put it this way, if you can have the best video ever, but if your audio stinks, nobody's going to watch it.
It's like, there's no way I could agree with that more. You could not be more correct. Your audio is definitely where the investment is. I've seen videos taken on a phone that's shaky, that's all over the place, but because you can hear the person very clearly, most people don't even recognize that the video is just absolute garbage. And especially if the content itself is just so gripping and it's good. So definitely wanted to make sure we share some of those pieces, and I think that's absolutely awesome. What you got going on there.
I found myself, like I said, talking a lot, and I've done some earlier live streams, and I just used my iPad, and the problem was I didn't have a mic. So what I'm a little frustrated about now about Rode is I had the Rode, the wireless Go 2. So I had so many issues trying to get my wireless to go into my iPad to work, but I found a little gadget. I had it to work, but I'm just basically using the camera from the iPad and everything. So, and I had fun doing it. And so that's why I decided to go in and invest in a little bit. And like I said, I bought the Rodecaster Duo. And the good thing about this thing, I'm sorry to go off. I go off.
No, go ahead. The
Rodecaster is a lot cheaper than the Rodecaster Pro 2 by like $200 maybe. But at first, you were only allowed the two XLR,
yeah,
that, and one in the front you can put in and have the headphones that have the mic on it. They updated it now to where, and I can have my wireless Goes hook right into it too.
That's correct.
But now they've actually, you're able, so here is the Rode USB-C mic. So you can do both. I can use USB-C or
XLR. That's correct.
And I went and bought just a regular $100. This is the $100 pod mic for my guests. So I bought this one to use on my iPad, which hooks right into the iPad.
Nice.
But Rodecaster now, you can go right from the Rodecaster in port 2 USB-C and hook right into here without the XLR.
Yep.
that was a great update. And now I can almost get 5 microphones on this little machine,
Yeah,
which was a
absolutely.
great investment, I believe.
Yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving. And so the one I have is the one I have at my desk is the first iteration. So this Rodecaster Pro 1, and so this one hasn't gotten those updates. The Rodecaster Pro 2, and of course the Rode Duo, the Rodecaster Duo, which is the one you have, those are getting those updates. So I have several Rodecaster Pro 2s, but just not in my home studio. But you are completely correct. The updates that Rode has done has breathed, so much exponential value and life into that device. And this is one of the things I always say to folks is they are looking at equipment. You want to make sure that the equipment is going to be there for the long haul. You want to make sure that the company is not just standing behind it from a perspective of we're going to be here to support you from a support standpoint, but also that we stand behind this product so much that we will actually put out updates that will further make this product even that much more useful. And so I remember when they updated it to allow for the Rode Wireless Goes to be able to connect wirelessly into it, I was like, okay, that's a game changer. But then when they allowed you to switch that port 2 to be able to plug in a USB-C mic, I said, wow, okay, Rode, you and you're talking about not having to buy another device. These are updates that they've done since you've made that purchase, and you're just, completely leveling up. So that you go from, like you said, almost just having 2 to now where you can almost do 5 mics on that same device and control all of them. That's really cool.
And
That's really cool.
And what I'm frustrated about Rode is that since before Christmas, I've been waiting for the new I sold the old wireless Go 2s, and I wanted the Pro, the wireless Pro.
Yeah, they're nice.
They're so on back order. I'm still waiting for them. So
yeah. I got to tell you, I came across 2 pairs of them, and I was shopping for a client, and I told the client, just buy both. And he was like, well, you need one. I was like, just buy both of them and be done with it. And that was the best thing that we could have ever done, because we have not seen one for sale since then.
No, we're waiting.
And so now we have the 2 pairs, and we are using both, all 4 mics in every scenario. So he's like, oh, I'm so glad we bought these, because if we didn't, we'd be up a creek. But I totally get it. It's one of those issues where it's like demand is so high. I don't know if Rode really understood that people were going to be liking them that much. So, but I will say this, the Hollyland Lark M2s, maybe half the price, definitely something I would recommend. And I would get the full bundle. It's like a $179 full bundle, which has the little dongle for both iPhone and Android. It is really clear, very small, and the audio quality has just blown I could not imagine that I would get that level of audio quality out of that mic. So that would be one that I would absolutely recommend. Hollyland Lark M2 microphones. They're far and away, they're not in the same category as the Rode Wireless Pro, not at all. I mean, of course you can't connect it to your systems or anything like that, but if you're just looking for something to connect to your phone or connect to your camera to give you good, clean audio while you're waiting for that other one, I think it would still be a great addition to your equipment lineup, even outside of, even after you get the Rode Wireless Pros. But
so I thought about getting a DJI, getting them because they're definitely cheaper, and a lot of people are using them. But I don't know, I've just kind of been sticking with the Rode stuff. And you can use this too. When I was live inside the tackle shop the other day, I brought my big Bluetooth speaker. You can, for back in the back, if anybody was back, I actually had a speaker back there. You can run it right through the speaker. So this has been a really good investment. It took me about 6 months to get everything. Maybe I might upgrade the camera later on. I thought about the Sony EV10.
But I gotta say, I like how your camera looks, and I like your background as well. I was watching your live stream, and I was like, I like it. I like what you've done. So, and the reason why I'm saying that is not so much to discourage you from getting anything new. It's just that is not at all, in my opinion, a barrier towards, doing some other, creating content and getting your stuff out there. Let me just, we only have, I want to make sure we touch on 1 or 2 more things here that I have in my notes for your channel. before we wrap up, because we're coming up on time. It happens like that when we're having a lot of fun. But this is, so I like to look at the channel in two ways. One, of course, as a non-subscriber, and so you'll see on the top corner here it says sign in. So this is an incognito tab. I pull up somebody's YouTube channel because I want to be able to see, you know, what does it look like if I come at it with where YouTube doesn't know who I am. They're not recommending anything to me. And what I noticed, number one, is that there is no difference between looking at it as myself or looking at it as somebody who's just coming off of the street. And so one of the things I would absolutely recommend is a channel trailer. Just a video. Say again.
I had one up there, and I didn't think, I eventually took it down, and I'm in the process of getting ready. I was getting ready to tell you, I'm getting ready to make a trailer for the. So I'm getting ready to do that. Good.
The guy I had on 2 weeks ago wasn't familiar with where that was. So, but it sounds like you are. So we can skip that part. But yes, definitely would recommend that. I actually want to give you your kudos for your banner. I think it's really well done. It's not
Fiverr.
Too much.
Fiverr.
Did Fiverr. Look at that.
I like see it. The logo of me and my wife. So, I mean, I'll give you a price because to me, it doesn't matter. So I went on Fiverr, and you can find reasonably priced. I got a new logo coming out for a t-shirt, and I went on there, and for $100, the guy has worked around anytime adjustments. But so for the logo, and I wish I had my intro on here to show you real quick, but it was the logo, the intro, and outro.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's good.
So I got the no, maybe a banner was somebody different, but I had the logo, the intro, the outro. I mean, completely redid my logo.
That's
the
good. Nice.
And I only paid $150. I don't think that's expensive for what somebody would really charge you for the detail that they've done.
You did well. $150 is good for what you're gonna get from that investment. And I think what I love, first of all, is that it's good now, but the fact that you recognize that there is a need to refresh it, there's a need to, you know, breathe new life in every now and again, so that, you know, it continues to represent your brand well. And especially if you're going to be getting t-shirts done, you want people to be able to recognize and resonate with that logo with that new t-shirt. So having that new t-shirt, that new logo up on the channel is critical as well. And you're at a place
t-shirt. It's going to be a t-shirt of it's obviously my channel. If you look at my channel, it's a lot of crabbing on there. You know what? You see that one right there, the Neutr Poot back there just one more up a little bit. The one
okay, yeah, right here, yeah.
So my wife bought a pressure cooker, okay, and we have no idea, never used it before. So I went on YouTube looking for it, couldn't find one for this Neutr Poot. So me and the wife made this Neutr Poot, and that's almost every month sometime, that's my biggest video. Even though I'm an outdoor channel, they'll teach you how to do learn how I did it for a pressure cooker to make some chicken is always around the top. As you can see, it's my biggest video.
Yeah, but see, that's the snowball that you're seeing, you know, as you go through these as well, right? Because it'll trickle over, and especially if you can, you know, if of course we can't design these moments, but if you can set this up in a way that, of course, speaks to what your channel's about, it's discoverable content. It's you're marrying what you do with this device that you couldn't find any videos on. To me, that is a standard story, and I want to make sure that our audience, anybody that's watching right now, is hearing that as well. The videos that generally do exponentially well are videos like Sam just said. I searched for it and I couldn't find one on this device. I couldn't find one on this particular unit, and so he decided to put a video out to talk about what he did with it, and look at the results. 51,000 views 3 years later. That's amazing. And it will continue to perform, and you can just kind of ride that wave as well. But I just, like I said, you even just you have the videos here at the top, you got popular videos here, you got shorts, crab recipes. So I would try to be a little more descriptive in your playlist titles. Try to treat your playlist titles the same way you would treat your titles for an individual YouTube video, so that it speaks to a specific experience, right? So let's say it's like, okay, in this playlist, I'm gonna walk you through an entire outdoor experience. We're gonna spend 2-3 days outdoors. I'm gonna walk you through our prep process, our setup process, our living process outdoors, our breakdown process, our go home process. And maybe that's maybe 5-6 videos. And once you do that series, you name it and you make it bingeable, because it's you want people to stay on and watch through all of the different videos. Try to cluster your content, still make them short and sweet, but if you can set it up in a way that's like, okay, I have this overarching topic, it's going to probably take me, anywhere from 5 to 10 videos to cover all of it, because I'm going to make them bite-sized, but find ways to kind of have a common thread that's stringing through the whole thing, so that for somebody who's watching, for them, it's like, well, I don't just need the one video. I actually need all 6. I need all 10 of them. So that would be definitely something I would recommend. And then lastly, I would also look into, so if you're looking at the screen now, right? And it's small, even though I have it at, I have the zoom, I think at 175. So I'm actually going to put it back down to 100. So that is actually what the thumbnails look like. And so just looking at it from that perspective, do the thumbnails jump, like the title, the wording on the thumbnail, do they jump out at you? Do they grab your attention? Can you tell what the video is about just from the thumbnail, even from your own perspective?
Mm-hmm.
So
sometimes it's one of them. So as I really study the thumbnails and really put my work into figuring out, not to put a lot of words in there, try not to just not make it cluttered.
Right. And you're doing that well.
Cluttered. You want something in there. So for my outdoor channel, so if you can see, I got the deer and I pointed an arrow. I made deer chili. In fact, that's the one that jumps at me the most. And I immediately, without even looking at the title, I immediately drew that connection as well. That arrow really helped. So just working like the snakehead thing, we have a really fish down here. They call it a frankenfish. It's called a snakehead. Really, really good to eat. Really, really delicious to eat. So one of the big issues right there are two videos I made from the live stream. My first live stream. So we were talking about, people think that the snakeheads are eating all the fish around and all that. So we went into discussion about that. And obviously the crabbing, that's one of our main things. The woman down there, she's my next door neighbor. She's a commercial crabber. She's a commercial crabber. So I get to go out I've been on a commercial oyster boat. I got a video of that. And this is a commercial crabber that my next door neighbor that I go out with. And she is little over 100 pounds and she works her butt off. She's out there humping bushels of oyster right now. So
get out of here.
Yeah, she's so I get to go out on the Chesapeake Bay here in Maryland, and I get to go out on Chesapeake Bay and get to see how your crabs are brought in and how your oysters are brought in from the commercial guys and bring them in. To spend a day on a boat with her and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to. I've been sitting here for the last week, and one of the videos I did was my day, because I've been a bread man. You go into Walmart and you see the great value bread. I bring it into the store. I've been doing it for 28. I've been doing it for 28, going on 29 years. And so I thought about, as a little bit of a change, still keeping my outdoor stuff, but but adding into almost like a vlog kind of thing. I got to go work on my boat. Instead of doing a video working on it, maybe I'm trying to switch it up to maybe talk more, be a little bit more personal in my personal life, but not everything.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
That's what is going. Perfect. Yes. The answer is yes.
Bring my wife in, kind of. We're entertainment, but see, hey, what do I do normally? Then I got to go. Then what do I prepare to maybe go out fishing, or maybe I prepare myself, like I'm rushing home. The greatest video would have been that I did a tournament about 2 years ago, and I was supposed to be off on a Saturday. I was supposed to have the Saturday off, and the guy backed out on me at the last minute because I kind of own a small business, so I have to get somebody myself. The company doesn't have that.
Totally get it. Yep. I resonate with that.
He backs out the night before. So now I got an hour and a half drive to where I have to go. Plus I have to work. So now not only did I rush to work, I rushed from here, drove all the way to the other side of the bridge in Maryland where I, up around Essex area.
Okay. Yeah.
So to go fishing. I didn't get there till 11 o'clock and the tournament started at 6. So I was running. And with 20 minutes left in that tournament, I pulled the biggest fish out that day. It was only a one fish thing. I won $1,200 that day, won the tournament. And so that if I could have took somebody through the process, and I had my cameras on all day long on the boat and wasn't catching anything, and I turned them off. And when I turned them off, about an hour later, we caught the one fish. So, keep your cameras on.
But see, what I wanted to make sure I touch on is absolutely. So the answer to, I just want to make sure that is a yes. Anything that you can do. What's up, Florence? Anything you can do to ensure that people have a window into what life is like for Sam. That's gonna be content that's gonna resonate. It's community content, right? Just to give it a phrase and a name. And your community content is really to really galvanize those who have already signed up, who already kind of know what your stuff is about. But your content that is about you, the vlog style content, it's still going to touch on, right, the fact that you are you're fishing, right? Because at the end of the day, you were fishing, but it'll also touch on all those other aspects. Right. So you see me here fishing, and yes, I won the tournament, and yes, I got the biggest fish, but you didn't, if you didn't catch the whole vlog, you didn't catch that whole day. And so that's what makes it relevant, is because you're still kind of tying it back into what the channel is all about. As long as you can kind of land on that, it's no problem to bring in, parts and aspects of your day that really play into what it is that you do on the channel. I think that's absolutely awesome. So
yeah, I've been doing it 4 years, so I've been working at it, working and little changes. I'm just trying to do little change. And yeah, I did want to kind of, I still have that little hope of maybe, because I'm about ready to retire, obviously. And I'd like to retire real soon, but, and this would help. And I think that I can do this. I think I can do it. I want this, as I said earlier, man. This is let's go back here. We're talking, basically just under 5,000 subscribers. I think you can double that with, making some slight tweaks and just being consistent. How often are you posting live and or produced content? So how often are you producing live content? How often are you doing the live content? This is a new project, so it kind of started right in December, right before Christmas. Mm-hmm. So I only had 4 set up and working on new, but I'm trying to get, I can have anybody in there, but it's right now, I'm really trying to target really, name guests, and I'm not scared, to interview anybody. You know what I mean? Like, be not intimidated. What I mean?
Totally get it. Yeah.
You're nervous about interviewing somebody. I think it's probably one of the things that's going to help. I'm hoping help my channel. Somebody thinks that the views are a lot lower on the live stream, that maybe take away from your regular videos. So a lot of people will take their lives and maybe put it on a different channel, which I'm not going to do that.
No, I wouldn't do that either.
So this is kind of what I'm starting. And for me, it's just to promote local businesses, the local guys that, when you're a fisherman, hunter, crab, if you're, a seafood place or something like that, whatever it is, wherever I go, it's just really to promote the smaller business around. And it's that's basically what it's coming down to. But I put a video out once a week, once every other week. I'll throw maybe 1 or 2 shorts out. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna start using, there's a tool that I don't think I've been really using on YouTube, which I think that a lot of people, if you're just making videos, I can give you some suggestions. I haven't been doing it a little bit. You got to use that community tab, and I haven't been using it enough. Yes. You have a community tab on there. It doesn't matter if you just do anything, a little poll, a little, what you're doing today, or what you got coming up. I'm going to really work on that for the community tab. And whenever you're doing a video, one thing that I'm trying to, what I started to do is that when you're getting ready to come and your video is getting ready to end, you can't say, well, guys, that's been, as soon as you start saying that,
signal it.
People are gone. So
don't signal
in the middle of it, put it at your end screen, right at the end screen. Just say, hey, you've seen a lot. I know a lot of people, if you're watching YouTube, you've seen this enough where somebody's talking and they say, hey, if you really want to see more, hey, this video right here, and just point to your end screen, point to the right, put your video right there, and get them to go watch another video. So I've been trying to work on that, getting them from, you want to get your audience retention, mine's been a little down, under 50%. It's getting anywhere between 30 to 40%. A lot of my beginning videos, if you can get 50% of the people to stay, you want 60, 70% to stay all the way through. But if you can get at least 50% of the people to get through your video and try to send them to another video, it's just that YouTube wants you to be on there. YouTube wants you to watch videos. So you want to send anybody that's watching to your next one. That's my advice, Kirk.
That is so good. That is so good. Yeah, definitely want to make sure that that people catch that piece as well. That it needs to be, you don't want to signal it. You don't want to telegraph the fact that the video is coming to a close. You want people to be able to not only feel like the video there's still plenty more. Like when they see the end screen come up, you almost want them to be surprised, like, oh, is the video done? And then you're already telling them you want to see that part, then go to this one. They're like, oh, well, let me do that because I didn't even know the video was done. And the more you can do that, the better it'll be for your, of course, audience retention, average view duration, which is a really great stat. And then of course your views will go up as well.
Yeah, I wanted somebody. That's why I've been watching you on Streamyard, so that's why I try to watch as many lives as I can. But most of the time I'm working when you come on. I'll come in and what I'll normally do is just put you up on my on my phone on the dashboard and just listen while I'm driving. I'm usually just listening to whatever's going on. That's awesome. I've been doing that a lot lately. Just any podcast or anything that I might be interested on, I just turn it on and I just listen to it.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
You have helped me, like you said, you see this little thing you have here. I kind of tried to imitate it on my last one.
No, I saw that and I thought it looked great, like really great. I thought it looked really great. Anything I didn't like Streamyard, I did you see how I have you have your names above the screen, so it's in front of us. Well, when I did it in Streamyard, and I put the white thing on there, well, our pictures go over above it, so it knocked out the names. You couldn't see the names because you know what I'm. Yeah, I do. I do.
LA, it wasn't like a
it's so with StreamYard you have to design it slightly differently, because here I can just put it over top. With StreamYard, I actually do a lot of my designs in the background because just the way that StreamYard does their stuff. It's easier to just design everything in the background and then utilize what's the term I'm looking for? You not really an overlay. So once your background changes, that's where your actual video can change as well. So for custom layouts, if I put that white square on, you've seen those videos where I've done that. But I put that white square on the screen or on the design, and now that I have that white square on there, I just make sure that when I create the when I create the custom layout, I'll create the camera. I make sure that camera is smaller than the square, and so it gives the illusion that the square, that there's an outline, but it's really an entire square. It's just I put the camera on there and I've made it a little bit smaller. So that's how I get around that. But I'm not able to do the lower third. Right. I have to design that differently and create a transparent overlay and then export that way. That's how I get around it. But
That's why I almost thought about going OBS, and you were saying that you don't know how OBS, that it's maybe not. It's more. I just think StreamYard is so it's very easy, very user friendly. I think
it is. But StreamYard's, there's a. So what I hear you saying is you're at a place where you want a little more functionality. And this is a natural thing that happens. That's why I always tell people don't they hear that that I don't use StreamYard now, and I say to them, it's okay. You can start with StreamYard. And there's many people that I've worked with who never get tired of StreamYard. They're fine with it the way that it is. But as soon as you start saying, but I really kind of want to do something like this, I really want a design that looks like this, it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work in StreamYard. There's just gonna be some limitations there that we have to be mindful of.
Well, hopefully they'll change somewhat a little bit. But I think for what they've
it's coming.
Offer, I mean, for what they offer. I think it's really good. You can really do a lot of stuff. And like I said, I can change all the layouts. And like I said, I learned that from you. I watched a lot of your stuff when it comes to StreamYard. When I thought about doing the live stream, I went to almost every one of your videos that actually explained what you were doing, whether it was doing layouts from Canva and bringing them on, setting them up. Like I did for my next one, I just worked on one where I'm basically going to have the camera's going to be on both of us. So I just changed it to one in Canva. I just changed it to one big giant screen, got it about as big as I possibly could. I was thinking of putting the names underneath of it, but then it wasn't enough room because it would just overlay on top of it.
Yeah.
A lot of creation. It takes a little bit in Canva, but for the free version, for what you get for the free version in Canva, it's too easy. And you can do a lot of stuff. Even in your editing, even in my editing, any editing thing, you can probably create the same thing, but it's easy in Canva and to bring it over for the free version. It's really good. I mean, it's really
easy.
Nice. For an old guy like me for an older, guy like me that, I would say I've gotten better at the technology stuff, but you have been a great help. I mean, an absolute
I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. This is the design that we're actually in, right? What the previous screen. And so this part where I have the overlay, you might not be able to do that in with StreamYard, but what you can do is you can actually just pull this up, right? So I can pull this up and I can do the same here with the so then I just move this to the center,
right?
And then so I won't necessarily be able to have it over on top of the video, but I still have my, the lower third essentially underneath the video here, and it still, still gives a good clean look. I just can't put it on top. And so I have that white border. I still have the picture. I still have the lower third. It's just not on top of it like how it is in the other side here. So that to me would be one of the ways that you could get around doing, that same thing in StreamYard. And you still have space here at the bottom for your ticker, and you still have space for your comments if they, when comments come through as well. But yeah, that would definitely be something to consider as you do that part as well. Where's the other one? I did this design for a client literally for a show we did on Sunday. It'll load here in just a second. And the same concept. This was a StreamYard show. There was these white squares all represent where cameras will be. And so we just had the camera there and it framed it out. And so if I go to the actual show itself, you'll see that the end result was essentially where it looked like a frame. So let's go. So this is me. I was hosting the show, and you can see that that's actually the white square, even though it still looks like a frame, but it's just because I made the camera a little bit smaller. So here's where we have three of us on the screen, and again, it looks like a frame, but it's really just the everything is actually in the whole design is in the background, and so I'm just utilizing the StreamYard names as the lower thirds instead of designing them myself. I just found that makes it a little bit easier and simpler, so that I don't have to put anything as an overlay on top of. But the fact that they have the custom layouts now really kind of has opened up some opportunity for you to really put your fingerprint on it. So,
yeah.
and I will say that a lot of people really enjoyed the stream, and they didn't know that we were actually using StreamYard. They thought we were using something else.
Yeah,
it's cool.
I mean, streams are really good. I'm thinking about, for me to do live streams here, I'm thinking about getting maybe a booster close by, because my Wi-Fi's downstairs, and sometimes in my lives I've found me freezing, and I'm getting little
glitches.
Like just stopping and freezing. So I'm going to think I'm gonna get a booster to kind of give that internet a little bit more towards because I'm way upstairs in the back room, way in the back room. So sometimes it kind of cuts in and out and slows up and stutters, and when I look back at it, it kind of ticks me off. But so
I can only imagine. Yeah, no, sometimes going back, but there's the practice that I definitely want to commend you for is going through and actually rewatching those. That's a really good hack. Anybody, I say this to coaching clients all the time. If you want to improve, you have to go back and watch your live streams. You got to go back and watch, because then you'll be able to see the things that you didn't necessarily see that happened live, and you're like, oh, okay, let me adjust that. Let me try and get that right for next time. To where you will go back and watch a live stream, and while you may still have some little critiques and tweaks here or there, you're overall happy with the whole thing, because it will get to a place where you've done your work. And that's the great piece about this being a journey, and not necessarily like just a one-off event. This is a journey. You're gonna, content creation, live streaming, it's a journey, and you're gonna kind of learn your way through that thing. And man, listen, I want to say this, man, take a second to let folks know how they can support and follow what you got going on your channel. And then I'm gonna try and close out here with the audience for just a little bit. But I can't thank you enough for coming through, man. Yeah. This is absolutely amazing. Yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate it. Just gonna, hey, I'm going to show you, stuff we do here in Maryland, and a lot of it does with could be fishing, hunting. We cook, like I said, I got some. I just did a video that I'm planning on how I'm going to work it, us being out on the water crabbing, and in between. So I'm going to break in between. So I'm going to try to do it instead of just doing a whole straight line. Like, say we started crabbing here and we end it, and then we came home, and Laura. So I'm actually going to jump around. So I'm going to go from, hey, us out crabbing as I'm preparing. So I went out.
I like that.
Ocean. So I was out in the ocean for the first time. I've never been in the ocean before, and I went out on a charter on the ocean once. It was actually paid $100, and I mean, went out about 2 hours out into the ocean, which I've never been. Was really worried about getting seasick. And I got some sea bass, so I'm getting ready to go from us catching crabs, come back, and I'm going to stuff some sea bass with crab cake. So it's going to be a stuff, and it was delicious. I'll just tell you that too. Sea bass is very, very mild fish. I was very surprised, but really good fish. So we're going to show you how we catch our crabs. I'm going to show you how we steam them. I'm going to show you how we pick them and save the meat. And then we took the meat during New Year's Eve, and we made about 5 pounds worth of crab meat in a bowl, and now we're going to stuff some sea bass with it. So that should be
crazy.
Yeah,
man, that's awesome. I think, like I said, there's another reason why I absolutely love coaching is because you just never know, right? People are creating content from their passion, from things that they do, and you get exposed to this entire other world, which is so awesome. There's several things that I even just watching the live stream that you had on with the guest, there's several things that I learned there that I was not aware of before. So I, definitely opened my eyes to what's possible. And can't thank you enough, as I mentioned before, man, for coming through and hanging out with us today. I think this was absolutely awesome. And again, just want to say a word of thanks to you for coming through and hanging out with us today. I hope this is not the last time. Definitely, I know you're going to be hanging out with us in the comment section, but hopefully we can have you come back on just to kind of give us a update on how things are going. And definitely, as you hit those milestones, we'll be watching, and just to kind of cheer you on as well.
Trying to get to that, trying to get to the 5,000 subs, and once I get there, I'm hoping it starts. The snowball effect starts again. Once it starts, I'm not going to stop. So I'm hoping. So my goal for this year, when it started snowballing last year, the subscribers and the views, And unfortunately, what stopped is I actually had to take off a while because I actually had a completely total knee replacement done.
Oh, wow.
So I was out of commission really doing stuff, just doing some other stuff. So it kind of stopped. So once I see that snowball rolling again, it's not going to stop. So
there we go.
You'll start seeing it. So it's just putting the foot down and being hopefully a little bit more calculated than just,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I think the level of intentionality, that's it. And again, in the chat, several people are just saying, thank you, Sam, for coming through. You know, it helps. I can't tell you how many times we do these live sessions and people will message me or DM me afterwards like, oh my word, when you said this, or when the person, right? So in your case, you've shared a good amount of things that you've learned along the way. Same thing with Sheldon 2 weeks ago. He shared some things that he's learned along the way. There's a whole conversation that happens when we're together like this and we're talking about how can we be successful on these platforms. That happens and it's awesome that and you never can tell where the unlock is going to happen for somebody who's watching. And so I'm just happy to be able to be a curator of this kind of content for people, man. Sam, thank you so much for coming through. I'm going to close things out with the audience for just a second here, and then we will see you probably in the comment section, but we'll hope to have you back on at a later show.
I'll pop in whenever I'm out and I see you on. I'll usually pop in and for as long as I can.
Love it, man. All right. Take care, Doc.
All right. Have a nice day.
Absolutely.
See you guys.
All right, man, that was a lot of fun. Sam is absolutely amazing. You know, one of the things I always love is it's like there's some things that Sam said that I have worked with creators who have way larger subscriber counts, and they are not aware of some of the things that Sam shared today. I just want you to know that. Like some of the stuff that he said, in terms of like not signaling that the video is going to be over, doing the point, like that point joint is there's so many studies that have been done on YouTube for that point thing, and they have tried their best to figure out why it works. And I think they've just kind of shut that down and said, forget it. We don't care why it works. It works, so do it. All right. You'll see me in my little videos like, hey, go and watch that one, because that's, you know, it works. And so some of the things that he's sharing there, there are creators who have much larger audiences who don't know that. And this is why you can't judge based on the metrics. Right? People have information that you just never can tell. And so many nuggets of wisdom that he was able to share, but we hope that we were able to give him some perspective, some insight on some things. Definitely some live streaming tips, tricks, best practices, some how-to stuff that's in the video as well, that I hope that will not only help Sam, but also will help any of you that are watching as well. And man, listen, if you're interested in doing one of these coaching sessions for free, we still have slots available. We opened up some in March. We still have a couple in February. Would love for you to be able to come through and hang out, come through, have us do an assessment of your channel. Let's take a look at what could get you unstuck, what would get you over the line. Sam's at 4.6, so 4,600 somewhere there subscribers. He's going to hit that 5,000 mark. He's going to start to gain that momentum. And listen, it's going to be a channel to watch. If you get some of that branding, if you get some of that messaging, right? Target audience, value proposition. Let me say it again. Target audience, value proposition. Let me say it one more time. You know, they say three is the complete. You got to say it 3 times for people to really take notice. Target audience, value proposition. I was on a coaching call last night with a member of the community. I'm not going to say her name, but I was on a coaching call with her last night, and I was saying to her, I was like, yeah, you know what I'm going to say? She's like, oh, you're going to go back to target audience again. I'm like, yeah, because it all comes back to being laser focused on the target audience. The target audience. It comes back to being laser focused on the target audience and what you're giving them. What do you give them? And in some cases, because a lot of times I get to share this, but I don't get to share this in as much detail as I would in a coaching session. So let me say this. It isn't just a transactional thing that happens from a content perspective from a content creator and a content consumer. It's not a transactional thing. Sometimes what you provide them is a window into a world that they will never go to because they're just not that kind of person. So it's an experiential thing. So now, so even for Sam, you may think the target audience is the person who's so, is really outdoorsy, right? They want to be out in the nature. But get what the other audience that is just as big, that's probably going to even be bigger for Sam, is the audience that's like, that bear story, count me out. I'm not coming. Not coming. Snakes? No. I'm not hunting. I'm not doing any of the above. But I'll live through you. I'll be there. I'll watch your content. I'll every time you post a video, I'll watch it. Why? Because I'm never going to go and do that stuff, but I'm going to live vicariously through you. And so what you're providing that audience member is a window into a world that they know not of. And a lot of times as we create content, we don't think about that portion of the value proposition. So it's not always transactional. I'll give you an example. I've spent an inordinate amount of time watching these guys like SB Mowing, Al Blades. These guys have YouTube channels where they cut grass. They ride around and cut grass. They cut grass for free. They knock on people's doors. Sometimes people come out with guns. People run them away because they're not certain that, they think it's some kind of a scam. But these guys ride around and they cut people's grass for free. I watch an inordinate amount of that, not because I'm trying to learn how to cut grass, not because I intend to open a lawn care business someday. No, I watch because I get to live vicariously. Like when Al Blades is like, hey, if this video hits such and such amount of views, then I'm going to cut 4 people's grass for free. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Boom, let's do it. Okay, Al, let's go. Like real talk, I was hovering my mouse over the Al Blades hat the other day because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to do this Al Blades thing. Oh, snap, he says I watched that also. But there's the value proposition sometimes is that you are Al Blades cuts grass, but is his channel about cutting grass? His channel is about transformation. Everybody loves transformation videos. Uh-oh. Are you seeing it now? There's not one video on his channel where he doesn't do a before and after, where you get a chance to see the yard in its undone state, and then you see the yard after he's put in hours of work. Hours. I mean, backbreaking work. Sometimes I'm watching this joint, I'm like, is he still doing that? This is crazy. For free. This guy deserves a medal. One lady, he cut the lady's grass and she came out in tears because she had just been given a citation from the city that if she didn't cut the grass, she was going to get fined, and her husband was on bed rest. And it was just this whole scenario. And she's just in tears about how he helped her. And he was like, man, I'm just so happy that we could do this for you. See, now it's not just transformation. Now it's who else can he help? Oh man, who else can he have impact on? These are the things, like I often say to folks, I have subscribed and watched so many videos of those guys cutting grass. EVF scholars, listen, don't leave me alone out here. Thank you so much. Don't leave me alone out here. But as we watch these things, because some of these videos have millions of views, I watch it because, I first watch it because I'm just like everybody else. I'm like, oh. Now, I'll tell you, I've said this many times before, there's something about the lines in the grass, something with my OCD. There's something about it being nice and neat and cut, something about seeing that transformation where it does it for me. It's a W. Okay. But after I get my fix, after I've watched, I begin to take off my fan lens, put on my coach lens, and start to analyze. Why is this successful? Because the channel's not about cutting grass. Your boy Al Blades, your boy SB Mowing, these guys have a lawn care business that is profitable. And they've figured out a way to add on top of it an entire content business that is actually even more profitable. Your boy Al Blades was on somebody else's channel being interviewed, and he was like, I'm making more money on YouTube than I am for cutting the grass. Now I'm looking for free grass to cut. I need more content. I can't record the grass that I cut for clients who are paying me to cut their grass. So now I'm knocking on doors. People are texting me like, hey, there's a yard over here at this address. That joint is completely undone. I'm riding over there. Are you seeing what's happening? It's an issue of recognizing why are people watching? They're watching for the transformation. They're watching for the stories. They're watching for the impact. Sometimes you even get to be a part. If he puts the little cash tag up there and you're able to send him some money, like, yo, cut that grass. There's something to be said for doing the analysis of the things that you actually enjoy. And as you do those things, you start to recognize, oh, these are some steps to success. These are things that I can do. These are things that they are doing that if you generalize it, right? It's not a grass cutting channel anymore. So it's no longer outside of my niche. Now I can just look at it from the pure YouTube perspective. What are they doing well? What are they doing that is moving the needle? What are they do? Why do I watch this? And look, EBM Scholars is one. Outdoors in Maryland is one. There's clearly, I mean, every video has multi-million views on them. So I'm clearly not by myself. And so the point is, if we can plug into what they're doing well, we will level up too. We'll end up seeing exponential success as we employ similar strategies and tactics that they are employing for their channel. You know, I like the phrase, success leaves clues. Pick up the clues. Oh man, y'all listen. I see David Hunt saying morning motivation is a must watch. Y'all know I love this. I just love being live with y'all. I love hanging out. I love the community that we're creating here. We went big in 2024. Coaching Quarter is on Wednesdays. We got Why I Go Live on Thursdays. We got our how-to video dropping on, what day is that? How-to videos drop on Sundays. We have live video news in the newsletter dropping on Mondays. And then sprinkled throughout there, we have shorts. Morning motivation drops on Wednesdays. It's a lot, but it is so fulfilling. And we want to make sure that we are giving you value for the time you have invested in hanging out with us. And so I'm way over my time today. That's just because, me and Sam had so much to chat about. But I would love to be able to engage with you guys even further where this whole content thing is about, where this whole content thing is concerned. I am working on a series of videos that will just be dealing with some coaching items from a very basic level. I have a list of them. Some of them are things you guys have said, how to craft the title, what to think about for the description, what should be put in that box, whether it's chapter markers or, other things. How to create the thumbnail, right? How to hone in on your target audience and what your value proposition is, and how to do it in a way that gives you space to pivot when you see an open door. There's a lot of it cannot be done in a 7 to 10 minute video, which is the reason why I have coaching. It just can't be done in a 7 to 10 minute video. It's not possible. But I'm going to try my best to put that kind of content out there. And I hope that you guys are going to rock with us and give us the ride. All right, let me see what we got in the comments. Man, listen, equip. What happened to my comment? What is this? It's supposed to be over here. It's supposed to be bigger. All right, let's get that right. I don't know what happened there. Equip Institute is with us. What's going on, sis? Florence is in the house. Yes, it leaves so many clues. Success definitely leaves clues. Stratford Sue from across the pond is there. Say hi, all from the UK. Loving this. Love it. Ibrahim comes through, says, you're the geek. You inspire and motivate. Somebody said the other day, they were like, you really are a geek. It's like, I definitely am a geek. There's no doubt about that. So no doubt about that. And then, of course, Florence is doing her moderator thing in the chat. Love to see it. Love to see it. But fam, now like I said, I'm over time. I just wanted to kind of take a second to really hone in on that last piece, to share, kind of a culmination of the conversation we had with Sam today from Outdoors in Maryland. I'm definitely going to be checking him out. I think probably the thing. And Sam, I know you're still watching, and I know that even if you're not watching, you're going to catch this on replay. But I think the thing that will probably have most impact for Sam, and I think is, again, probably 80-90% of us, it's going to have the most impact for you as well, is really honing in on the messaging, that value proposition and that target audience, but the messaging of it. Like, have you ever, you know what I mean, been outdoors? Have you ever experienced this? Have you ever seen a flower open? Oh my word. Have you ever seen a bee suckle from a flower? Like, if you've never experienced those things, on this channel, we intend to hold space for it. In this channel, we intend for you to live vicariously through us. And if you ever decide to go into the outdoors for yourself, we'll have everything you need right here. Oh gosh. I not only, under that one framework, I see the subscribers, I see the brand deals, I see the course, I see the merch, I see the PDFs, the guides, whether they're free or paid. I see the masterclass. I see Sam and his wife doing a outdoors in Maryland, Las Vegas version, where there's like an actual in-person meetup that people pay maybe $1,500 to $2,000 to go to. There is no shortage of ideas. If you craft it right, you really recognize and hone in on the value that you have to provide, and you stay consistent, man. Those three things that I always say to you, answer a question, be vulnerable, be consistent. Those are the three things I say about content. I say that about live streaming. I say that about answer a question. Make sure you have something in it for the person who's watching. Be vulnerable, be real, be your unadulterated self, warts and all, is what I like to say. Then the third piece, not just consistent in your time and your frequency and your release schedule, but consistent in your content. consistent in your content, staying in that lane, locking in, and allowing people to be like, yo, he's still talking about it. Like, dang, this guy Kirk, man, he's stay talking about live. He's stay talking about like, man, is he not going to talk? No, I'm not going to talk about anything else. That's what my channel's about. Yeah. I'm doing motivation. I'm a coach. I needed to add the two. I wanted people to see that. I wanted people to see what they'll get a picture of, what they will get a glimpse of in my morning motivation series is what you get a full dose of in coaching. Somebody is one of my good friends. He's not my coach, but one of my good friends was like, man, I feel like the morning motivation thing is dope, but I feel like it's pushing you in a different direction. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm a coach. If I can't motivate, I can't coach. And so morning motivate, it's all part of the same thing. I feel like I'm rambling now, so it's probably best to go ahead and get offline. But the main thing is answer a question, be vulnerable, be consistent. Don't miss that. Don't miss that. Target audience, value proposition, it's all wrapped up in there. Don't miss it. Making a verbal contract with those who have decided to support and show up for your content. You want to be consistent. You want to answer. Make sure there's something in it for them. Make sure you do not show up as someone else. Don't put on a mask. Be authentically you. Give them you. That's what they came for. In fact, that's one of the things I was going to say to him is even when I was watching his live show, I was saying you may want to develop a portion of the show where you give your audience a dose of you, like what I'm doing right now. After we have ended the coaching session, I'm making sure my audience gets a dose of Kirk because this is still the Kirk channel. That's how it all works, but you get it. People don't resonate with organizations and, foundations and entities, institutions. They resonate with a person. They resonate with a person. That's the reason why Stephen Furtick's channel has more subscribers than Elevation. Why Michael Todd's channel has more subscribers than Transformation. Why TD Jakes has more subscribers than Potter's House. Why? Because people resonate with the person. With the person. With the personality, with the person. And the more you can give them that person, you're making good on the value proposition. You're making good on that verbal contract that you've made with them. And those are the pieces that I want to be able to share with you today in our coaching corner. I have a lot of fun with these, man. I really do. There's no words to really share around that thing. Geeks Unite. I love it. I love it. The transformation we experience may show up off YouTube earlier than we expect. It's happening for me. Listen, Equip Institute, I thank you so much. Simply Ball Drop Podcast. I love when you come through, Doc. Thank you so much. I had no idea you grew up in Maryland. We definitely share that in common. My first apartment, my own apartment off, outside of college, outside of parents, outside of everything. My first apartment was right there in Randallstown, Cinnamon Circle, right off of Brenbrook Drive. If you know Liberty Road is 26, Maryland State Road 26, but Liberty Road in Randallstown, right where that Home Depot is, there's a Home Depot right there. That's that intersection of Liberty Road and Brenbrook. I used to live right off of there in Brenbrook Apartments, and yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. That's we talk about blast from the past. I love that stuff. When can I be on the coaching corner? Hey, listen, do me a favor, drop an email. Drop an email to info@howitallworks.com. My assistant will send you all the details. My assistant will send you all the emails. He says Liberty Road. My assistant will send you all the details and we'll get you right on. There's slots that are still open. So definitely want to make sure that, anybody that is interested in coming on the coaching corner, they can come on. Oh, look at that. He says, I travel it all the time. Look at that. Yeah. Liberty Road, man. I used to live right there. So when you said Randallstown, I was like, uh-oh. Baltimore County in the house. Come on, talk about it. Randallstown. Yeah, brother. All right. There is another podcast episode that's going to drop tomorrow. We had Morning Motivation that dropped today. We have, let me see what we got here. We have the Incubator's Couch was going to start back up in a few weeks. And then, of course, you know, we have live video news. It's going to drop on Monday. It's a lot, but I want to make sure you guys are aware of all of it. And do you know how you can keep up with all of it? You can keep up with all of it by going to howitallworks.com. And I'm just going to ask David to type in that link in the chat, howitallworks.com. All right. Ibrahim says a short in YouTube must be 1 minute or it's 60 seconds or less. 60 seconds or less. And if you have, I wouldn't even do 60 seconds. I would do 59, 58 if you can, just to be safe. YouTube will identify that it is a short as soon as you upload it, and it puts it in a totally different category. It's a totally different set of monetization. It's a totally different metric, and it is going to it's going to give you analytics and data based on the shorts for shorts' sake, totally separate from your long form content. So it is a really great. It is a really great tool for discovery. That's what I like to say. It's a really great tool for discovery. Okay, so let me try and read the whole question. A short in YouTube must be 1 minute or less. Otherwise, you cannot upload it. Is that true? You can upload it. It's just not going to be considered a short. You can upload it. It just won't be considered a short. I believe it needs to be 9:16 as well. It needs to be vertical. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. You can definitely upload it. It just won't be considered a short. All right, there we go. So that answers the question. Looks like I'm catching David in the middle of the workday. But Kerwin's here as well. So there we go. Kerwin did it even before I did. Stay in the know by going to https://howitallworks. Works is spelled with an E.com. And that link is clickable whether you go to Kerwin's post or my post. Thank you, Kerwin. Listen, y'all blue wrenches, y'all be doing y'all work. Good work. Thank you so much. Fam, this has been fun. We had a great time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I've got a whole other live show to go and get prepped and ready for this evening. So I got to run. I got to dash. Got some things to go and get situated. But I cannot thank you enough for your time and attention. Hoping that this coaching corner was helpful and useful to you, even as you look to get unstuck, even as you look to get to another level, as you want to understand what are some of the things that are working. But here's the real clincher. I'm very unapologetic about this. I do the coaching corner like this because I want you to see how I coach. I want you to experience it. And I want you to experience it and see that because I also want you to sign up for coaching. I love coaching. It is a passion of mine. It is an absolute gift that I have, and I would love to be able to share that gift with you. So if you are in need of some coaching, please, by all means, hit us up. The link is in the description, kirkrnugent.com/coaching. Go to howitallworks.com. There's a coaching link at the top. You're going to find coaching anywhere I'm at, because that's what we're pushing hard right now. We got a masterclass that's going to be coming up. We got a conference that's going to be coming up towards the April-May timeframe. A lot of things coming down the pike for How It All Works. Want to make sure you guys keep it locked because there's a lot that we want to do. But it's your boy, Kirk Nugent, Geek Speaker Preacher. Thankful for your time, attention, and energy. We will see you around these internet streets or in the next video. Later. Oh yes, another coaching corner is in the books. Can't thank you guys enough for coming through and hanging out. And if you are catching this on the replay, man, there's some really good ones right here. You see what I did? This is